Hello everyone and welcome to Nara's Tarot. Thank you very much for being here. In today's reading, we are going to take a look at 3 themes in your life right now, and that will be healing, blessings, and rewards, okay? And so for healing, we're taking a look at the lessons, the journeys, the experiences that you're going through right now, try to make some sense of them. Then for blessings, we're going to take a look at gifts from the universe, any good news that you're about to receive. And finally, for rewards, we're going to take a look at some kind of positive outcome after hard work that you've put into something, okay? So we're going to take a look at these 3 themes and see what Spirit wants to let you know at this time. And for this reading, we have 3 piles for you. This is pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. So feel free to pause the video here to pick your pile, and otherwise I will see you at your reading. Alright, hello pile 1, welcome to your reading. So I've actually pre-shuffled your oracle cards, and the cards are going to give us the main theme for each of these 3 aspects in your life. And we're going to shuffle our tarot cards on camera to get us more information from Spirit, okay? So starting off in the middle, this would be the healing message for you right now. And we have changes. Ooh, okay. So the healing journey that you're on is bringing changes to your life. And I feel like healing at its very core is about transforming something, right? It is about taking one experience and transforming it into perhaps wisdom or into something that isn't so painful anymore. It's taking one experience and turning it into a different thing. So this really encapsulates how deep of this healing journey is for you, in the sense that I don't think just one area in your life is changing right now, but you're experiencing changes in almost every aspect of life. This is the case when we start a healing journey, maybe in healing a certain relationship trauma. And we notice that whilst doing that, we actually improve other aspects of our lives. You know, we become more confident, and maybe therefore our career also improves, our finances improve, our health and wellness improves, other things in our lives improve because of that one thing that we worked on, okay? So let's get you your tarot message to see what Spirit wants you to know about this healing part of the reading. We have the Empress and Justice underneath the deck. Okay. Wow. The thing here for many of you is this healing chapter is restoring so much self-worth into you, and you're finding out just how powerful, how beautiful, how strong you really are with the Empress here. And Justice here is, of course, you know, the scales balancing and the universe seeing the efforts that you've put in and helping you to restore your balance in your life, because you've taken it upon yourself to make certain changes in your life, even though you may have been hurt by it. Justice here is also saying that there will be justice for this situation. So if you are perhaps waiting on some kind of legal outcome, or you're looking to have some kind of, I don't want to say karma but yeah, because I don't know if it's karma, because karma is a very complex and very big thing for me to just say it in a reading like that. I'm not that confident. But in essence, right, karma will find the people that it's meant to find. The just outcomes will occur, and you will find that the scales get balanced, all right? You know what I mean? So in any case, this is happening in the background of all of your healing efforts, and what you're restoring on the surface and what you can see is you becoming the Empress. The Empress is, in many ways, she's very, very protected, right? The Empress has a very strong sense of groundedness and protection and boundaries around her because of the position she has, because of what she is, what she represents. She represents life. She represents creation. And of course, we want to protect the energy, or, you know, the person that is giving us life, that is giving us this ability to create. So for many of you, you're entering a state in your life right now where you will find that you're able to create more things. I wonder if some of you have experienced a lot of stagnation in your life. There just wasn't a lot of movement. With the Empress and the Changes card here, what's happening for you is you being able to enter a state and a stage, I should say, of creation. A stage where you can actually birth new things into your life. It's not going to be the same old, same old. You're actually going to find that the kind of things that you want to manifest, the kind of changes, the kind of new beginnings, the kind of new opportunities that you want in your life are coming in. And it's not just coming in like that, because you know the amount of work you've put in, the amount of healing work you've done to be able to arrive at this place of genuine confidence, genuine serenity and peace and wholeness as well, to therefore be able to welcome in this new life into your life. Okay, so your healing is definitely transforming many aspects in your life in a really positive way. All right, so pile 1, let us take a look now at the blessings coming through for you. And you actually have 3 cards here. So the first card is number 5, the holly tree with permanence. It says here, a great awakening through enlightenment. Evil is warded off by your devotion to good. Interesting. We then have here number 23, the magnolia tree with surprises. Hope, health, love, and happiness, and the promise of all that springtime brings. And finally, we have 28, the date tree, a granted wish. Okay, and it says here, enlightenment discovered through knowledge will free you from doubt. Love that for you. So for many of you, with granted wish over here, I wonder if you've been praying for more stability in your life. Which is funny because you've been praying for change, of course, but the change that you've been asking for isn't just change after change. You're looking for change out of a very turbulent, a very unstable, a very insecure place in life. I wonder if some of you are perhaps facing very challenging financial situations, or maybe there are a lot of career changes in your life. It hasn't been easy in the more material aspects of your life with the Empress over here. But I see that with a granted wish and permanence, things are gonna stay right now. You know, it's easier for you to actually keep your gifts and keep these blessings in your life. So this is Spirit's gift to you. And there are going to be surprises. So outside of what you have wished for, outside of the things that you pray for, there will also be surprises coming through to you, okay? So let's get you a tarot card now and see what else Spirit wants you to know, all right? Ooh, we have 4 cards for you. Let's have a look. The first, is the Emperor in reverse. Very interesting. Okay, we have the Death card in reverse. I'm just going to stack the cards, okay? And then we have here Tower and the World. Wow, all major arcana cards. Holy shit. Okay. This reading is going to be a bit raw, so I wanted to do it more like in person, a little bit more with you guys, closer. Okay, so it's not so like manufactured, but you have Emperor, Death, Tower, and the World. And all of your cards so far have the major arcana. Oh shit, underneath the deck is also a major arcana card, the Moon. Wow. So the Moon in reverse is talking about how you want to leave, and I'm hearing you want to escape from this place of darkness, from this place of fear and a feeling of insecurity. Because imagine if there's a really dark night and you can't see in front of you, you don't know what's behind you. There's a lot of fear that comes, with that. And you guys wanting to leave this place. In terms of your blessings, Emperor and the Tower over here is very interesting, because the Tower talks about transformation and major uprooting of something that wasn't meant to be in our lives. And then we have the Emperor in reverse that, Emperor upright talks about stability, a sense of control and safety, but we also have this card in reverse. For many of you, one of the blessings coming in is knowing that there was something in your life that you might have been clinging on to dear life for that really wasn't that stable. It really wasn't giving you what you needed. And it maybe was just fulfilling a very baseline level of survival, but it wasn't what you really needed. This is almost like going to a job every day that you don't even really like, and it only pays you the very bare minimum, and it doesn't give you any more than that. But you can't leave that job because it's giving you the bare minimum, right? You don't have more to work with. You're already like full and living paycheck to paycheck. What will you do without this job? This is someone who kind of has their hands tied with the Emperor and the Tower over here. All right. And so Death card in reverse is many of you wondering if this change would ever come, change. And Death is major change, major transformation. It's transformation in every sense of the word, every aspect that you can think of. Death brings change to all parts of life, to the soul as well, okay? So that's how deep of a change this is. And therefore, that permanence card that we were looking at earlier, it really becomes even more meaningful because you guys want this permanent change. And that is what death is. It is permanent change, right? In a way, you cannot reverse the effects of death. Some things maybe you can, some things we can heal from, we can restore something about it, we can regenerate from it. And it may not be the same, but we could get something similar. Not with death. Not with death, okay? And so many of you want a very permanent change. And the thing here is, we have the World card, and the World is card that is the final card in the major arcana. This is you guys closing off a major chapter. This is you walking past those doors and never looking back. You're going forward into your new life. All right, pile number 1. The blessing for you is you guys going forward into that new life and you're not looking back. That is permanent change happening for you in terms of your blessings. Which is crazy, all right? It's crazy to think about. But Spirit wants to be very real with you because we have the Tower here. Tower is real energy through and through. I mean, you want change, not all of it is going to be handed over on a silver platter, right? Not all of it is going to be like just delivered with a nice pretty bow, for instance. Sometimes change can be very dramatic. Change can happen in a very drastic way as well. So there might be some of that happening. And if that's the case, it's something that is meant to help you to make this transition. It's actually helping you to create that permanent and lasting change that you've been praying for in your life, okay? So, pile number 1, that was intense in terms of your blessings. And now let's take a look at rewards. And I know blessings and rewards sound very similar, but the intention that I set was for rewards to look at something that you are being gifted after working hard on something. I feel like I didn't really phrase that well, but a reward after hard work, okay? So your reward is Pegasus flowing with inspiration. Wow. Okay, so I feel like life is going to be more exciting for you. That's your reward. Again, inspiration is you actually feeling alive, you actually feeling like life is worth living. You feel inspired by your daily life, by the things around you, by the people around you, and you actually feel that they give back to you as well. As much as you give to them, your life is also inspiring you. So your reward is you guys actually finding that you create a life where you wake up feeling excited about. The other thing about this reward is that you also become an inspiration to other people. And that may not be much of a reward for you, but there's something here about you guys kind of like overflowing with that wisdom and the knowledge that you've gained from your experience, and it benefits not just you but the people around you as well. Okay, so let's grab you your tarot cards and see what else Spirit wants you to know. All right. Ooh. All right, we have the Ace of Swords. I am not going to look at the last 3 because they didn't open up. But we have the Ace of Swords, and underneath the deck, we have the Two of Swords in reverse. Oh, this makes a lot of sense now. Your reward is clarity and also divine inspiration and intuition. Once you actually transform your life. And actually, I shouldn't quite say it that way. That wouldn't be the most correct way of saying it. It's not that once you transform your life, but even now, as you are going through this transformation, you're gaining more and more and more confidence in yourself and in your voice. That is how you flow with inspiration. That is how you become a voice of clarity and a voice of almost like reason for people, especially people who don't have a voice to represent them. You become that voice for them, and you become the voice of reason for that collective, for that community, with the Ace of Swords here. And there is no more confusion with you with Two of Swords over here. You have no more doubts about this path that you're meant to be on. There are no more, I'm even hearing shame. You don't have any shame about the fact that this is what you want to do. And if there's anybody who tries to put that energy onto you, you are not even taking it with the Two of Swords in reverse. Like, it will not even affect you, because you are so clear with the Ace of Swords about about the divine guidance that you received, about what you're supposed to do, the path that you're supposed to be on, and what you need to do next as well. There's so much clarity, and that is your reward. Gone are the days where you question everything and you doubt and you worry and you wonder. Gone are those days. Your divine inspiration is so on point, your intuition is so on point, that you only can hold space for that kind of clarity. You really only have the headspace for clarity. I mean, I do want to add, clarity and trust and intuition is all great. A healthy amount of doubt is also normal, because that's how we perhaps are wired, right? We're looking out for something. Sometimes doubt tells us something new about some new information too, right? Which is fine. However, you're not going to have those unhealthy amounts of doubt anymore. You're not going to be always questioning yourself, wondering if you're okay, wondering if people like you, wondering if you are doing enough, or whether you're good enough, whether or not somebody sees you in some way. Like, nah, you're not going to be worried about any of those things, and therefore you become a beacon of light for yourself and for others around you. And it's a very interesting reward that you're getting, but it's almost like your reward actually benefits not just you, but the people around you, which is beautiful work, okay? Pile 1. So let us take a look at your final message over here, and I just want to get some, not angel, but some affirmation cards from this universe to you, from spirit to you. All right, and your cards are, even when things aren't perfect or don't seem to be working out, I choose to trust in life. And then you have, I am deserving of respect, love, and happiness. I give respect, love, and happiness too, okay? Underneath the deck we have, I soothe away anxiety and stress by choosing to do things that help me relax. All right, and pile number 1, this is what I see for your reading. Thank you very much for being here. I hope this brought you the clarity that you are seeking, and I look forward to reading for you guys in future as well, okay? Bye now. Hello pile 2, and welcome to your reading. So we have already pre-shuffled your oracle cards to take a look at the healings, blessings, and rewards that you need to know about right now. And we will shuffle more tarot messages after we reveal each oracle card, okay? So starting off with your healing, we have here honoring your energy and psychic development. Ooh, okay. So I wonder if many of you are very emphatic. Is that how I say it? Empathetic? But you know what I mean? Like, if you're empaths, because honoring your energy feels a lot like you guys learning how to set some kind of like healthier boundaries around yourself, because of all of this psychic information that you're picking up with psychic development. So one of the healing things that you might be going through is, how do you let go and discharge all of this negativity that you are absorbing from the people around you or from the world in general? You might find yourself being very, very affected by these things, and you might have been more and more affected over time, and especially in recent times is what I'm hearing. But your healing work is actually going to help you to actually find more calm and balance and peace at the end of the day, and let go of like emotions that are not yours. Especially if you like feel angry all the time, or if you feel really frustrated all the time, if you're constantly feeling like down and negative, there's something about this healing energy that's coming in that's helping you to draw the line between what's yours and what's not yours, basically, okay? But let's have a look at some tarot messages and see what else Spirit wants you to know, okay? All right, we have here the Two of Pentacles, the World in reverse, and also the Empress. Ooh. Pile 1 also got the Empress card. And underneath the deck for you, we have the Devil in reverse. Oh, okay. Yeah. This very much checks out, because we have the World here, which is you and the world and all of the energies that are coming your way. And then we have Empress. And Empress, she's very protected. She's got her boundaries up for sure, healthy boundaries. She takes care of herself, and like we all prioritize the Empress's protection and safety and kind of like ensuring that she's good, right? So you're definitely navigating and negotiating between how much of you want to put out into the world and how much you want to reserve for yourself. And world is big W world and also small W world, meaning this isn't just about the world at large, but also just your world, right? Like your community, your friends and your family. Like how much of them do you want to bring into your life? Like how much access do you want to give to these people as well? This is a juggling act for sure with the Two of Pentacles. This is you guys knowing how to manage between these two energies and knowing how to keep yourself protected while still having like, you know, connections and good relationships with the people around you. I don't really see you guys cutting everybody off, but then there's gonna be like a truth that you have to uphold, that there are some people that you don't really vibe with and you don't really need their energy in your life, you know what I mean? So you're kind of like having to set the boundary really clear around that. Underneath the deck is the Devil in reverse, and again, this is very much this reading here where you know that there are certain energies that want something from you, not in a good way. The devil wants something from us, but we don't have to give in to the devil. We don't have to give to what the devil asks for. In fact, we don't want to. And so this is you guys setting very clear boundaries and saying no to people, basically. All right, so your healing message is as such. Now let's take a look at your blessings, okay? And we have here number 51, the tulip tree adaptability. And it says here, the transforming power of time brings flowers and fruits that are a sign of love and happiness. Okay. So I don't know if I mentioned, but blessings basically are gifts from the universe, and rewards are stuff that you are being rewarded after working hard on them. So the universe is gifting you the blessing of adaptability. And this is so connected with whatever we have already seen. It's kind of uncanny to see the cards speaking to each other this way. But the blessing here is learning how to be flexible with yourself, and how do you also be flexible in this world. Rigidity and a lot of very strict standards might have been keeping you feeling very stuck and very frustrated and kind of just uptight, right? But also for some of you, you haven't really had any good boundaries at all. Like people just had unlimited access to you almost, and energetically it was a lot to take in. So you guys are either on either side of the spectrum is what I'm seeing for this pile. More of you are more so on the side where you don't really have boundaries, all right? But the gift of adaptability is knowing that protecting yourself isn't a selfish thing to do. Taking care of your needs first is not at all a selfish thing. And if you have a boundary that you really need to uphold, that is not something that's mean or nasty or selfish or some kind of terrible thing that you're doing as a bad person. No. This is the universe gifting you this idea and this ability to learn how to be flexible with yourself, and learn that, it doesn't, you learn not to see the world in such binaries. And in that sense, also, you free yourself from having to be this good person that's always there for others, it's always available, because that definition of goodness is too narrow and too stressful to try to upkeep. I don't really know why this is a blessing just yet, but let's see our tarot cards, okay, to get a bit more clarity. Okay, your cards are Page of Wands, the Hanged Man in reverse, and also the Four of Pentacles in reverse. And underneath the deck, we have here Strength in reverse. Oh. This reading, again, is a bit more raw. I'm not trying to cut out weird pauses that I have here. I just want to be a bit more real with you guys in this reading. But so yeah, bear with me as I unfold what this means for you. But strength in reverse, let's start there, because underlying this spread over here, I see you guys, you're just not fighting something that's not worth the fight. That's what you're being adaptable for. And there's something that just bends around you in that adaptable sense. It kind of the energy just avoids you entirely. It bends around you and it doesn't affect you. The gift from the universe is you guys kind of having that boundary being done so well that something just doesn't affect you anymore. Something that you've been fighting, a conflict that's been erupting in your life, it just doesn't have the same weight anymore. And that brings about peace, that brings about harmony, that brings about inner peace and stability as well. Okay, with the Four of Pentacles here, I see you guys really learning that letting go is a way in which you can free yourself and free the people around you. There might have been this mindset or this belief that in order to be there for someone, we need to be there with them. We need to fight the fights. We need to be in the thick of the arguments. We need to hash it out with them, right? But I think many of you are experiencing a mindset shift where you realize that actually if you were to let go, it frees everybody. We free ourselves from this expectation. We free ourselves from having to do this thing with each other. We free ourselves from an unhealthy cycle. And in you doing that, it also gives the other person the opportunity to then show you who they are, right? When you let go, how do they respond? Do they respond with picking up the responsibility, perhaps? Do they try to do what you have been doing? Or do they also let go and maybe they don't really give a shit? And they show you who they are, okay? So that's something that's coming through very clearly for you, and you're learning to see that through not just, you're learning to see that in different ways. You're learning that you don't have to just see someone by fighting with them or by roughing it out with them, toughing it out with them, that you can see their true colors also when you walk away from them. Okay, so the Page of Wands to me always feels like a bit of a traveler's energy. There's this idea of the Page of Wands kind of going on some kind of journey. To me, at the very least, that has always been my view of the Page of Wands. I don't know why, but I do see you guys moving on and taking a step forward in something that feels more aligned to you. And no longer kind of holding yourself hostage in a very punishing situation with Hangman in reverse. I'm even seeing for Hangman in reverse that there was a situation that really you didn't have to be there. You didn't have to hang yourself upside down and be there with that person. You had no reason to rough it out with them except for the fact that you wanted to be there with them. But I wonder if you weren't really appreciated and you weren't really valued for the time and the energy that you put in. And so therefore this is Spirit's gift to you to realize that, hey, this isn't your fight. And so you don't have to be there to rough it out with them. You can actually move on, and it's actually perfectly fine. You're not a bad person for doing it. You didn't leave anyone behind. Okay? Let's take a look at the final part of this reading where we look at your rewards. Okay? And you have here Alchemist, transforming reality. And Wonder, seeing the world through the eyes of a child. Okay, so your reward is much more lightness coming through in your life with this Wonder card. Some things have felt so heavy and you've been trying to lift some kind of weight off your shoulders. And you do that actually by walking away from something. You've done the hard work. You've tried to be there, but also you end up knowing that it's time to move on. And your efforts actually allow you to transform your reality such that you don't carry that baggage. You know, that was somebody else's baggage for them to carry. You didn't have to carry it, and you don't have to carry it. And so you're able to restore yourself and your life in a very light-hearted manner, just the way like a child would. Just the way that there's some kind of innocence that gets restored to you. It's a kind of easiness, right, with the child energy. It's easy is not really the right word to use, but you get what I mean. You know, you don't have that kind of the same burden and the same level of responsibility as a parent would. So you might be moving on from somebody who was very dependent on you or very codependent with you. And in that independence, you actually find yourself and you find your joy and your laughter again. So that is your reward after going through this really tough chapter in your life, okay? Let's see what else Spirit wants to say with our tarot cards. Okay, for your tarot cards, we have Five of Wands in reverse, yup, and the Eight of Swords in reverse. Yeah, the cards are all speaking to each other because the Five of Wands talks about five energies being in competition or in conflict with each other, and the Eight of Swords talks about illusions. So there has been a lot of unclarity around this conflict because you've been so enmeshed in the conflict that you don't even know who you are or what you're supposed to do. Like, what is this fight for? Like, remind us, like, tell us again, why are we in conflict? Like, why are all of us so up in arms? Like, why are all of us so angry? Like like remind me again why. And you kind of like wake up to the fact that, hey, this isn't even my battle. Like, maybe this is something that your parents or your friends or your family, like maybe somebody else is fighting some kind of challenge, but you know, you're trying to be there for them and you're trying to like be right there with them, you know, exchanging the words, exchanging swords or text messages or emails, right? Stuff like that. But then you're like, hang on. This person's drama isn't mine. I don't have anything to do with this. And that really sets you free and really clears you up. And somehow that is your reward. The reward is not having to deal with something that's not yours. Okay, underneath the deck, we have the Queen of Cups in reverse. Yep. This person, whoever it is you're dealing with, they don't know how to handle themselves and they've been leaning on you. And you have had to expend so much energy just to take care of this person. And it just wasn't checking out. You know, the scales weren't balanced. You know, the energies were not in harmony. The Queen of Cups here is you realizing that you don't need to be there for someone. They need to be there for themselves. You need to be there for you. And we all need to start there before we can do anything for anybody else. And so you learn that it's best to leave this person alone. And sometimes that is the biggest and best thing that we could do, all right, for the people that we love, which is not an easy thing to admit, not something that it's not an easy decision, right? Like, very few of us would want to do that willingly. Most of us want family harmony, friendships, relationships that flourish and that work well. It comes to a point, you know, where we have to make the tough choices. And you guys know that it's time to do something in your life to create that change, okay? And let's get you your final affirmation cards from Spirit to see what else they want you to know at the end of this reading. We have here, I make a positive difference in the world, even with my smile and words. Your next card is nothing is impossible for the heart. Love will always find a way. And then we have my patience is being rewarded. My turn will come. Okay, so if you've been very patient about something, if you've been working consistently towards some kind of goal, your turn will come, okay? And finally, underneath the deck, we have today, I dare to do something differently. All right, so amazing. Call number 2. This is what I see for your reading. Thank you so much for being here. I hope this reading brought you the clarity that you were seeking, and I look forward to reading for you guys in future as well, okay? Bye now. All right, Pile 3, welcome to your reading. So we're going to take a look at the healing, blessings, and rewards that Spirit wants you to know about. And I've already pre-shuffled your oracle cards. So we're going to take a look at them one by one, and we'll also get tarot cards along the way to clarify the messages further, okay? So for healing, you actually have 4 cards. And so let's take a look. We have number 2, new beginning, starting off. We have past, present, and future, number 4. We then have 24, ascension, and 40, retreat. Oh, hang on. All of your cards are 2 and 4s. Wow. So you might be seeing a lot of repeated numbers, maybe 2424 or 222, 444. But if you see those numbers, this could be a sign of confirmation from your angels about something. So pay attention to when you see those numbers and what messages come up for you when these numbers come through, okay? So yes, looking at your messages here, new beginnings, first of all. This is a very... This pile over here feels a little bit more like your healing journey is taking you to a place of solitude, with retreat and ascension. And oftentimes when we are leveling up in life, it's also when a lot of new beginnings happen for us, right? Like when we level up, we also experience more new opportunities, new doors, new beginnings, things like that. And it's a very sacred time to be in because there's so much newness. Think about the times when a new baby is born. We have to take very tender and delicate care of the mother and child because we're protecting a new life, right? So for many of you, as much as there is this big expansion and ascension, it's also a time where you need a lot of peace and quiet, and you need time to heal from the explosive growth that you experience. This healing, the quality of it, think of it almost like you are a newborn mother. You are a new mom, right? And moms I can't talk, but if you're a new mom, you need to heal. Your body has gone through a lot and you need to heal. And babies as well, they are freshly created, but then also very delicate. You got to take care of their health. You got to be very careful about, they're very tender, like little creatures, right? So that's the kind of healing that I see coming through for you guys. It's that tender and delicateness that needs to happen whilst you're growing something new. And this could be, yes, a new baby for some of you, if that's what you want, but also anything new that you're birthing into your life, a new project, new friendships, new house, a new a new career, maybe a new car, I don't know, anything new, right? And there's some kind of like, I gotta be careful with this, I gotta protect it, I gotta put boundaries around it. Maybe I don't want to tell everybody about my business at this point. I need to retreat and just take care of myself for a bit. That could be some themes going on here, okay? So, let's have a look at your tarot cards. And you have 4 tarot cards too, which is the most out of any of the piles I've gotten. But let's have a look. We have number 29, 8 of light codes, which is the 8 of wands. Star in reverse, number 17. What is this? The priestess of light codes, which is the page of wands. Yep, the priestess would be the page. And then we have temperance. Hang on, actually priestess, I'm not sure if it's page or queen of wands. I'm going to check and be right back. Now, it is the Queen of Wands. I apologize. So the Priestess is the Queen. Um, but yes, you have the Eight of Wands, the Star in reverse, the Queen of Wands upright, and Temperance. Okay. So something has been going very, very, very fast and furious for you with Eight of Wands and Star here. And so much of your attention and energy has been put towards wanting to manifest something in like a really, really major way. Like there's this major manifestation that you've been working towards with Eight of Wands and the Star. And this has taken up so much of you to be able to manifest. But also, some of you have had to heal from the fact that you put in a lot of energy into this and you didn't quite get the result you wanted. It wasn't really fully what you wanted to manifest with the Star in reverse. So there's a little bit of disappointment that we're healing from as well. However, as you go through this journey, you realize that, hey, it's not over yet. I think for many of you, you didn't give up, which is why we have the Queen of Wands. She comes through as having having experienced a difficult chapter, a difficult situation. And she comes through as being resourceful, as having more wisdom to deal with the situation. She's not just crashing and giving it with her all like the Eight of Wands. She's actually knowing how to be more strategic about how she uses her energy, right? The Eight of Wands just like wants to throw all 8 wands and throw everything that they've got towards what they want. And somehow that didn't work for them with the Eight of Wands in reverse. However, the Queen of Wands here is knowing how to give their all, which the Queen of Wands does. However, doing it in a strategic way, doing it in a way that she doesn't get completely burned at the end of it. And therefore, we have Temperance here. This is the healing coming through that allows you to be balanced and feel harmonious at the end of all of this. You've been working so hard and running so hard. The healing that comes through for you also is just some space to breathe. So as you achieve this goal, it's also giving you room to actually just have a breather. So you're not going to be able, but you're not going to be needing to like chase after this thing so desperately. It's not going to be a situation where you need to chase it down with such ferocity anymore. You actually get it and it stabilizes in your life, okay? Underneath the deck, we've got the Initiate of Activations, which is the Page of Swords in reverse. I do see many of you needing to unlearn something in your lives with the Page of Swords in reverse. You needed to unlearn a cycle in your life that has kind of like shaped your identity and shaped who you are. And now that you experience a different reality, now that you are coming into a place where maybe, for example, you've been trying really hard at making a business work and suddenly things do work. Right? After trying many different ways, suddenly something works. The Page of Swords here is calling for you not to let the past failures identify you as almost like having a chip on your shoulder, and that you have to always carry around this chip, always having to feel a certain type of way, always having to be like, I was the tough business owner that like survived like X number of failures and I still kept coming up, blah, blah, blah. Like you don't need to carry that identity unless you feel like that is you. Otherwise, you don't have to keep repeating the narrative of failure. It can be something you gently hold in your space, but it doesn't have to be all that you are, because you're so much more than that, okay? So this is what you are healing. Let's take a look at your blessings now. And I know blessings and rewards sounds very similar, but for blessings, I was focusing more on gifts from the universe. And for rewards, it's more so about something that you've worked hard for and you're getting the reward for it, okay? So for blessings, we have a number 23, the magnolia tree with surprises. Okay, so we've got no spoilers from Spirit as of yet about their blessings, but the keywords here are hope, health, love, and happiness, and the promise of all that springtime brings. Again, spring is the time when new life is born on earth, right? We see new trees, new flowers. Life starts to come back to itself after winter and the hibernation period. So you are definitely birthing some kind of new reality, and it's going to surprise you. We don't really know what it's yet, so we're going to get some message from Spirit. And Spirit, again, is not revealing anything else except for the Ace of Wands. A very minimalist reading for your blessings here. Aces are, of course, new beginnings. So Spirit's like, yeah, no spoilers there. Absolutely no spoilers. You'll get a new beginning, but what is it? We're not going to reveal too much. But the Ace of Wands is an energy where there's new fire, new light, new passion, new spark in your life. So you're going to get that kind of like a burst of vitality and energy in your life, and more, I'm even hearing more creativity coming through. So some of you might feel more inspired to perhaps take on some creative projects for yourself. But otherwise, Spirit doesn't want to give any spoilers. Okay, so we'll leave it at that. Just to peek underneath the deck, we have the Sage of Earth Guardians, and this is the King of Pentacles. So yeah, the blessing that's coming in also is something that will come in, and it's a stable energy with the King of Pentacles, right? This is energy that is not gonna, it's not the kind of surprise that kind of like explodes in your face and then it just poofs and goes away. It's something that will stay. It has roots. It's gonna last. Okay, let's take a look at your rewards now. And for rewards, you have the Ayohippus. I hope I'm saying that correctly, but it says here the past can lead you forward. Wow. So this is your past self having devoted that energy and that time investment, resource investment into something, and you got a lot to thank your past self for, because they put in so much work to ensure that your future self thrives, and that there is a good outlook for you, your present self, and your future self. So thank your past self for that because they went through a lot, and I mean thank you for that essentially because you went through a lot. Okay, so the reward for you is the reward is very simple. The reward is that you will reap what you sow. And if there is a shred of doubt in your mind that you won't reap what you sow, your past self is almost coming through to say that absolutely not. This was what they worked for and they are going to get it. Okay, let's see what else we can clarify with our tarot cards here. All right, we have Justice coming through. Yeah, justice, come on. Justice is all about that give and receive, that cause and effect, right? Justice is very straightforward. What you put in is what you get. Justice sees things very clearly, and this is you having done right by yourself in the past and reaping the rewards for it. Plain as simple. Some people might not think that of you. They might feel like you got it easy or whatnot. Nah, you know the true story. You know the facts. We have Moon in reverse next. We have the Hierophant, as well as the, what is this? The Queen of Cups, the Priestess of Portals. Okay. So, Moon in reverse is, the reward for you is you having some kind of spiritual knowledge bank, is what I'm hearing, which is a little bit abstract, right? But you kind of like have built up this spiritual experience, because this entire earthly experience that you've gone through, this journey that you've been on, is also translated to a deep spiritual awakening in you. And you might have had a lot of questions about your path, your purpose, your destiny maybe. A lot of these things may not have been super clear for you for some time. But with the Moon and the Hierophant over here, this is that spiritual confusion clearing up, where you no longer have the same kind of doubt about your own spirituality, your path, and the messages you've been receiving. Okay, I understand now, because for many of you, you've been receiving this message over and over again that, you know, this is something you're meant to do, or this is your path, and you've been following this rabbit hole for some time, and you've been perhaps wondering, where is this is all leading you? You know, what are you exactly after here? And there was so much trust involved with the Moon in reverse, like you were just following a dark it's like intuition, right? Intuition is nothing more but a faint voice in a dark void, pretty much. And so the moon is that idea of you just following the faint moonlight and just trusting that voice from within, that soft but also strong voice. And at the end of all of this, the reward that you get is the Hierophant. That level of clarity that you bring in to understand your path, your purpose, right? Hierophant deciphers all of that and helps us to decode that spiritual mystery, if you will. And we get to understand something on a deeper level. All right. With the Queen of Cups in reverse, over here, I see many of you detangling from an emotionally distressing situation. And the reward for you here is you realizing that you're not responsible for this Queen of Cups in reverse. You're not responsible for somebody else's emotions, reactions, and triggers about you or towards you. And you really free yourself from this thing that has been holding you hostage for a while. So one of the things that also allows you to move on and move forward from the past is letting go of this emotional attachment to something that was not yours to begin with. This could be a person, this could be a situation, this could also just be a memory as well, as what I'm hearing. That you've been holding on to this memory and feeling perhaps guilty or angry or hurt or something about it. And what happens at the end of it is you letting go from it. And Queen of Cups is in reverse, I do want to point out. So there's something about you that may still be dealing with the residual energies of the situation. That you've already done a lot of work to let it go, but there's still something here that affects you. It still keeps you up at night sometimes. It still makes you feel a certain type of way when you see this person or when you hear about them or when you encounter similar situations. It still kicks up some fears. But the reward for you is that this will not hold you hostage for the rest of your life. You'll actually be able to transcend from it. Okay? Underneath the deck, we have here Two of Activations, which is the Two of Swords. This is clarity, guys. So the Two of Swords is when two sword energies or two thoughts, two opposing mental energies cross each other. Right? And this is very much, this could be your energy right now, in that you want to move forward, but you're also being held back by the past. That you want this thing in your life, but also you're not sure if you really want it. You think this is your path, but you also don't know if it really is your path. That's the Two of Swords energy. These two swords, these two thoughts are crossing each other. And the reward for you is having this clarity and letting yourself go, letting yourself free from a Two of Swords confusion, right? And so you restore that voice inside of you, that clear voice that is certain about who they are and their path. And therefore, I think 2424, this repeating number that we saw at the start is very significant, because whatever angel number you see, learn to recognize that these are signs from the universe, signs from spirit, signs from your guides, your angels, your ancestors even, telling you straight from the heart, straight from spirit, straight from source, what it is about you that you need to know. So learn to pay attention to that, because that can be more of a guiding light for you, okay? And finally, let's have a look at your affirmations just to close off this reading. See what else Spirit wants you to know. All right, and it says here, I soothe away anxiety and stress by choosing to do things that help me relax. Beautiful. And underneath the deck we have, life doesn't have to be perfect in order for me to choose happiness. Today I choose happiness. Okay, so pile number 3, this is what I see for your reading. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope this reading brought you the clarity that you were seeking, and I look forward to reading for you guys in future as well, okay? Bye now.